If you watch the first two chapters of this big feral tomcat story, you know he fought the big boar raccoon of the jungle to a draw and drew blood on the big raccoon. But in the following months it looked like the cat's days may well be numbered due to a serious chronic right hip injury. This cat is at least a dozen generations removed from domestic cat relatives. Capturing the cat to get treatment and relocated to a safer environment for him and the native wildlife he preyed upon, using food as bait was out of the question. So I tried catnip as an attractant, and it really worked. The cat loved it and could spend hours under its influence. While I was away in late summer, the cat made a remarkable recovery. Speculation of his imminent demise had been premature. By October, he was once again the agile, cold-blooded killer of small mammals of the jungle. Mostly rats, but also the occasional careless squirrel. The blue jays were not always there to sound the cat alarm. The cat had perhaps become a jungle legend. Mother raccoons taught their kids to steer clear of this cat. The cat marked his sin at the trail intersection with the bobcats and the big boar raccoons, and avoided the occasional coyote and reestablished his dominance over the new male feral cat that was similar though darker and may well be part Maine Coon cat. It was time to try and draw this cat out into the safety of the backyard with catnip for capture and find it a new home. Cats and all wild animals are drawn to fence lines, especially where there is an abrupt boundary between thick, dense cover on one side and open areas like here. After applying catnip, it did not take long for the cat to find it. I don't know how far away cats can smell catnip, but once he found it, he was a regular visitor. I've been experimenting with Smarty Cat catnip and catnip with silvervine added.
I usually just replace cardboard for the bait area and then up here where the cats are, just so they don't hurt their feet. And they both of the male cats seem to go crazy over both of them, but I haven't really done a thorough test of which one is preferable. So maybe I'll try that later. Just maybe put two piles of them about a foot or so apart and see which one they selected.
It was time to put out the trap with catnip inside and lock the door in the open position so the cat could come and go freely to habituate the cat to the trap. Fortunately, no other animals, especially the bobcats, raccoons, and possums, showed any interest in the catnip or the trap. It looked like a safe plan without disturbing native wildlife. The feral cat would visit the trap nightly, often spending a long time inside with the catnip. It was now time to set the trap. Catching the cat seemed almost a certainty. The cat showed up a little early this day, just before dusk. The cat has been trapped for over a minute, just eating catnip with no concern for getting out. The cat got the cardboard out of the way so he could get better traction for pushing. The cat was only trapped for 4.5 minutes and didn't even try to escape for a minute and a half. So it only took him 3 minutes to get out once he decided to try and leave. Once outside, the cat was not panicked or stressed, but simply gathered his composure and strolled back into the jungle. Here is his escape zoomed in at slow motion.
Your typical Havahart style trap, but it's actually well made and possible to get out of the release end. Now, as far as the trap end, once this comes down, it's physically impossible to force that door open. And you'll notice that this trap is designed to be foldable for easy transport. So the cat did not move this door. And if you look closely at the video, the cat did not move the door up. The door stayed shut. what he managed to do is to squeeze his body through here, which would seem almost physically impossible. But as he went through, the thing tipped over. And you can see right there, as I'm pulling that with all of my power, right there. Now, how the cat managed to get out of there is beyond me. You would think that that would never be possible. I'm pulling that as hard as I can. Absolutely as hard as I can. Right there. And that's all let me get. This end back here, with the bar and the clip on it, nobody's getting out of that. And interestingly, the cat didn't even try to get out this way. The cat immediately went for this corner right here. So just to review how this trap works. The door comes down, and it's got this secondary locking mechanism on it right here. So what you got to do is pull this up, push this down, and at the same time pull here, and you get it open. So once it's snapped shut, there's no way this door is coming open. I've caught easily 8 or 10 cats with this trap over the last 10 years that I've had it, and never had a cat even have come close to getting out. So I've got the trap wired in the open position with some fresh catnip, and I'll just let the cats come and go for now. And what I've been using to monitor this with is this really cool Campark TC17 4G trail camera with the solar power unit. This is too far away to use live Wi-Fi, and these are really great for remote traps because or remote areas that you want to monitor for any reason, because you can monitor it live anywhere in the world with you, as long as you have a cell phone service, and it works great. You can also pan, tilt, and zoom, which is kind of cool, especially if you're trying to watch activity at a distance. So if you, especially with a trap, you don't want to leave a cat in the trap very long, so as soon as the cat goes near the trap, it sets off the alarm and alerts you on your phone, and you can watch the activity. It makes it a lot easier. Now, in this case, the cat literally was in the trap and out of it in like 3 or 4 minutes. Pretty crazy. Better watch out, little bud.
I continued to put catnip in the trap and leave it locked in the open position while I decided on plan B. Thanksgiving Day was wild as the big female and other male feral cat were active in the daytime, which is very rare, but that was because the native bobcats were making their rounds in the area and they had to stay out of the way. The bobcats have a large territory compared to the feral cats, and are in the area far less often than the cats. Remarkably, the bobcats showed no interest at all in the catnip or silvervine, which is a good thing, because I do not want to trap one of them. This is why food is never introduced around these cats as bait or otherwise. Toward dusk the same day, the other male feral cat goes in the trap to enjoy the catnip. Here is a comparison of the size difference between a young bobcat and the large feral cat, which looks like he may have some Maine Coon breed in him. The following morning, the original feral male that escaped from the trap is back inside the trap for a brief visit, having some catnip. Mother raccoon and her kit continue to show no interest in the trap with catnip because there is no food smell associated with the trap. Food can never be introduced into this environment. The previously trapped male is back inside the trap later this evening, enjoying an extended catnip session, much to the curiosity of passing raccoons. Under the extended influence of catnip, the feral cat is a relaxed model citizen, showing no stress or displaying any sign of aggression, even when the raccoon peers into the open end of the trap. It is remarkable that the feral cat that escaped from this trap continues to go inside several times and makes 2 more visits early the next morning. Just a few minutes later, there's a rare visit by the female cat, who was hardly ever seen on the jungle cameras. She apparently remains immune to the influence of the catnip, as I observed earlier in the summer. She cautiously enters the trap but does not approach the catnip at the end, and quickly retreats back into the jungle. The 2 feral males that escaped the trap continue to visit the trap between dusk and dawn almost every day.